Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to my room. This is Dr. Rao. I had a very productive day today, and there were several places where this thing has come to me that uh, personality development is something very important in the uh, in the livelihood of anybody. But as you go into spiritual circles, um, you want to be light on that. But then before that, you got to have what we call self-efficacy. That means you have the confidence that you could do stuff on your own, and you have the confidence to face any circumstance and do them because you are trying to do them, right? And develop the capacity. So I thought I will do a few nights on this topic and involve. Welcome, Angel. Welcome to the room. And so I thought I will begin with that. Uh, Having this insight into ancient wisdom, where they had a very interesting school system, and I was very inspired by it. It's called Gurukul. What means is they take the kid very young, usually around 5 years or so, and then they kind of enroll him in a forestry school where the school is in the forest, away from all the regular life, and the only instructor and everything is that one particular teacher who takes this kid under his wing as though he's his own kid. And he has 30 kids, they are all his kids, and then he shapes them. He kind of helps them to develop this inner confidence and inner clarity and vision, and develop the skills that they need to shine in life, right? That could be a warrior, or that could be a pandit, that means a scholar, or it could be a royalty, or it could be a merchant. Those are the categories that they have. But they worked on how could we develop this kid holistically. That means physically strong, mentally strong, and compassionate, and all that. But having this confidence of facing life and able to solve problems, even though he was not trained for them, he will work at it, he will do it. This was taken by the modern psychologists also. What they said was, if a kid, when faced with a difficult problem, persists with it and go on wanting to solve it, he develops the self-efficacy. Whereas the kid that the moment he finds something is difficult, he kind of bypasses it, and he kind of doesn't want to expend his energy in resolving that problem. So those kind of kids, they're always lag behind in life in so many things, and then they have very poor self-image and self-confidence because they are not able to solve problems and they are leaving them too early. That means they are not getting the benefit of that. Okay, that kind of thing. You see, it's always there. So I thought we should explore that too. An example for this is, you see that pupa to butterfly, before it becomes the butterfly, it has to break through a lot of small restrictions that it has in the pupa. And the one who struggles with it comes out of it and flies very well. And when the scientists attempted to release those obstructions, the small fibers and all that, to make it easy on the butterfly to fly away, actually it lost its ability to gather the strength that is needed to fly away. So it is that important to really understand where we develop this self-efficacy, self-confidence, and attempt things and achieve them and then go. This is all at the level of the personality, but when I talk about spiritual stuff, you go beyond this, right? The person that we develop in here can never be free, but we can be free of that person after we develop the self-efficacy, after we have the capacity to handle the things in life. Then when we want to really go into the spiritual circle, that's when that. But for now, I'm kind of talking about how can you develop this personality where you are exposed to problems and then you face them and you resolve them and then you become stronger that way. Okay. So this series will cover some of those things. Um, there is an interesting way of anatomy physiology when you look at an allopathic way, for which I was trained as a medical student. And also later on in medical profession, I got to read the other stuff, what was going on in ancient Indian system, Ayurveda, yoga, Chinese system, Egyptian system, and African systems. They all had these different systems, right? Basically, the systems that I studied in ancient India, particularly yoga, they describe our personality having 5 layers. That's what I want to present here today. And it's very interesting to handle a lot of things that we go through life once we have this perspective of 5 layers. At least that is true for me. I hope it resonates with somebody. Okay. See, they kind of said, okay, we have the core inner being, which is the conscious being, which is really our real true nature is the center, right? Around which we can imagine 5 layers. Actually, they are not layer by layer, but they are intermingled. But for our convenience to understand, we will say 5 layers. They're called pancha koshas. Kosha means the layer, pancha means 5 layers. What is the first layer that is the external to everything is our bones and blood and muscle and organs, the physical body, anatomical body, right? That is made up of our 5 elements, and then we know how to take care of it by nutrition, exercise, breathing, and all that. And then there is this layer of energy. All our energy goes through our body, and because of which we can work or we can do anything, right? So that's the second layer. So body layer, energy layer, energy in the body, okay? And then we have thoughts, we have feelings, we have, so much of mental activity. That is the mental layer, okay? And then using the mental layer, we kind of understand the world, and we have this set of understandings or concepts of beliefs and all those things. That is called that our more like our intellect, that mental layer, and then on that there is the intellect layer. Then so we got 4 altogether, and the last one is where our real seed like, from which everything comes up, like our genome, our DNA, and all that, right? That is the 5th layer, and they call it the 5th layer is causing everything else too. But then what is animates is our real being. That is the 5th, beyond the 5th layer, so that is there. So what happens as a physician when you understand this particular layer, then you say body and mind are always together. We cannot make it an artificial divide, like a body problems are body and mind problems. It's not like that. One influences the other. This is very well stated in many systems where psychosomatic, right? Somatopsychic. Whatever happens in the body, for example, I have a cut, I have an injury, and body had the injury, but then it affects the mind because of the pain, because of non-healing, whatever, right? Whereas if you have some illness, you are diagnosed, but your mind working on it, getting worried over it, it can get to particular disease get much worse than what really it is. So that is common sense. We know that, right? So psychosomatic, somatopsych, that is there too. So body and mind, and because they are all one unit, the approach to them also like that. Then you have to provide a care that is good to take care of all the layers of your human personality, right? So that means you got to take care of your body, you got to energize it by exercise, by breathing, and all that, and you have to keep your mind in order, not to let it go by its own will, overthinking or depressive thinking or negative thoughts and all that. Also, false way of understanding things can lead to a lot of problems. And finally, you got to understand what is the seed that you are getting, what is the genomic parts that you are missing. That's why you have this disease. Nowadays, we do that with a genomic therapy. Suppose I diagnose somebody with a lung cancer, because I can easily diagnose that with the CAT scans and MRIs and all that. Then I may do a biopsy, I may establish what cell type, I may do some chemical workup and say what kind of receptors on this cancer and all that. With that, what happens? We get to go and look at the gene, what kind of peptides are missing or replaced or something like that. That is being going on now. So nowadays, we can look at the genome and we can see some of these nucleotides or peptides that are missing on a particular chain of the genome. Then we can predict 10 years down the line, he may have this particular thing. So you could have some triggers by lifestyles, by the whatever you do, and they can manifest the tendency because of the genomic nature of it. But if you don't have the triggers and you can control the triggers, you may not even manifest the disease. For example, I told you 10 years down the line, you will have diabetes. What you do is, no, I don't want to have diabetes. I want to do whatever I can do. What is known to me, I can do. I can exercise better. I can eat better. I can take medications ahead of, so if the blood sugar is high, I can monitor it and all that. So a lot of people are, even with the common sense, they are doing it. They have the family history and they have understood how this is a very big problem. So they kind of don't eat too much, they eat properly, and then they walk, they function, and they exercise. So that kind of clean living makes them not to manifest diabetes. But you can also learn about the internal milieu of chemical construction that you have. That means molecular biology. We have that is a big deal coming up too. Down the line, as the personalized medicine takes over, a lot of people can have an inkling or outright diagnosis by their own effort at home. So you can take a sample of poke of blood and then diagnose a lot of things that way. That is all going to be helped by AI. Will provide a lot of answers to your questions and educate you and help you understand what kind of things you are prone for or you are in danger of it. Okay, so let's come back to our subject, which is the personality development. So you got to take into all these things into work. Okay, so I plan to do this for a few days so that we can get into deeper discussion of each layer or questions or whatever. Okay, let's see whether Angel wants to come up here. Anybody on the wisdom also can come up. We can have a conversation about it. I see Sanya there. Sanya, come up and we can talk about it. So those layers, once you have your head around it, you grasp the essential principle, then you can attend to what you are doing in your life. what is your attention to the personality of the several ways of it could be body, it could be mind, it could be anything, right? So you can first take care of that, and then you see what kind of atmosphere, what kind of education system, what kind of culture, what kind of uh, things that I had that were all influencing the shape of myself inner, interior. That means they're not the character only, but also how do you react to certain things? What is your conceptions of about things? How do you are you hung up on certain things? That all depends on these factors. So what your parents knew, what your school knew, what is in vogue in the culture, those things matter. For example, mm, in America, I see this time and again, and a lot of people really get upset about this too. But then I kind of take it on. So they think if I have a lot of things, then I'll be very happy. They don't give much importance to the simplicity of things and being simple living, right? They think if I can make this much money or if I can really achieve a lot of riches in so many ways, I'll be very happy. Uh, that is such a uh, thing that is proven wrong over and over again. So if you live in New York and you see a lot of billionaires there, and there some of them are most miserable, okay, and also they have to worry about protecting whatever they have, and also they feel like however much they earn, it is not enough. Okay, so that kind of hang up on what we grew up on, right? So that kind of thing you have to examine. And also what clarity you have. You may not even aware that the concepts, the mental makeup, the personality you have developed was consequence of that, and it may take years and years before you uh, embark on that. A lot of people don't even come to that, and they die like that. But then the people who want to reflect on what am I made of, whatever my influences, where it is, they will do very well. Okay? But then realizing what your conditioning was not enough, you got to transcend that conditioning. You got to go beyond it so that your response to any particular situation is not because of your conditioning reacting, but you are able to see the situation for what it is, not through your filters. Okay, that's a big deal, right? So a lot of people don't know that they are racist, but they are surprised to see where did this come from suddenly. They think they are very accepting, they are very liberal, and they are kind of don't have those feelings at all. But suddenly it pops up in their interaction with other people. Then they say, "Oh, how did this come about?" Because it's in the vogue, it is in the culture, it is in your family and everywhere. And then it was convenient to be racist at the time for some people. They may not know all the intricacies, but they absorb them. So the first thing that you want to really understand about the personality is how it has shaped up. And obviously, spiritual angle, like you have to go beyond the personality. That's a different matter. But if you really want to know the limitations or whatever the deficiencies that were there, and then you're getting trouble because of them, unless you really kind of accept them and look at it in the face and then say, okay, I have this, where did I get from, how can I get rid of it, and all that. So because people don't do this, they may say something, they may do something, they may think something, and that results in some kind of injury to somebody, either verbal abuse or insults, or just a deliberate you know racism, where you don't get credit for the values that you have, for the quality you have in your work or whatever, right? That's what people complain about. So a lot of people don't get opportunities to do what they want to do because of that. So understanding where personality is coming from and what are the limitation of personality, how to reshape them is a big deal. Okay, that's some of the work I do a lot because a physician talks to me. Um, First of all, he wants to complain about the administration, about the hospital, about the colleagues, about the patients, about the insurance companies, any number of things like that, right? They complain. And that means I am not at fault, but the other people are making me a victim. Granted, they may be doing that, but if you allow yourself to be victim, you will be living as a victim. But if you don't want to be the victim, but you want to see how much responsibility you bear and how much you are not, and how you can reshape how you feel about it. That is the inner reshaping I do. And that is done very nicely, calmly, without making them feel like they have done something wrong or they are at fault. It's done with sympathy and with empathy, understanding, and all that. That works very well when you do that. Like then they are ready because they feel safe. Then they are ready to share to the core. And then once they see that, actually things change automatically. Suppose you are getting angry, for example, very quickly, but then you only suffer the consequences of getting the anger out. But also, you don't realize that anger is causing problems for you in your own inner self. Physically, also, all the stress hormones that you generate, and when you're angry, you may feel psychologically better because I have taken it to other person. There, again, I'm superior, so I have shown it to him. That kind of egotistical thing, right? So, once you are familiar with that anger coming up, and now immediately you can cut it down. Okay, that's what happens. So this inner engineering, inner reshaping that can be done progressively, but it's not like somebody is going to do that for you. You will be directed towards that, but you got to do it yourself. So personality reshaping is something that can be done only with clarity. Where are you? What caused this? Where are you going? And all that. Okay, that kind of thing. So I wish somebody takes interest and come and discuss some questions that they may have. That would be wonderful. I don't know why everybody strikes and then stays in the audience when I come on talk. But I come and talk and they talk. I never understand what's going on. Anyway, I'm going to do the series for a while, and then I'll bring up different topics that are relevant in the modern society, and we will get those things done. Okay. Somebody's coming finally. Yeah, Julie, my friend. Okay. Hello, Julie.
Good evening, Doctor. How are you?
I'm good.
You've been in my mind.
Yeah.
You've been present with me today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have been doing some studying, and it's. I've got a couple of days left to finish this course. I'm doing this CBH hypnotherapy.
Okay.
It's been quite active. There's been a lot of pressure going on. I've got a certain time limit to get a fair few things done. But in there's this lovely module, and the module is mindfulness.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was Dr. Rao, my friend.
Yeah.
As I was listening to my tutor in a classroom situation, and we were saying, what is mindfulness? And the word is presence.
Yeah.
with everything inside and out.
Yeah.
When you said to me, we were talking about me being in nature quite often.
Mm-hmm.
And the words that came across were, nature isn't just the external environment. We go out inside. Nature is inside of us as well.
Exactly.
The nature of feeling and sensation.
Yeah.
And all the time I was listening to this wonderful person, I thought, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rao, for taking time with me.
Yeah, sure, Julie. Yeah, you are one of the natural or nature person where you are connected with the outside nature, inside nature too. But there is a big philosophical system that was there for thousands of years. It's called Samkhya philosophy. Sankhya philosophy, right? In that philosophy, Purusha is our conscious being, consciousness itself, and then Prakriti is something, all that is natural that we see around us and in us and all that. According to that, we are, when you are born, when you come to the world, most of the people are in a balanced natural state, nature, the nature wise, okay? But then those energies, we kind of mess it up because of whatever we do with us or the world do it to us. Then to get back it to normal, that is the health they were talking about. So they talk to Prakriti. Prakriti essentially means the word is nature. So the nature stuff of yours is disturbed, is called Vikruti. The feelings, the negativity, whatever, right? And those things, And then to come back from that Vikruti, which is disturbed natural self of ours, to again normal, to the normal nature, that is the essence of those treatments.
Yeah.
So you get cured in the mind, and then that reflects in the body, and also your energy, Julie. That becomes very clear and comes out. See, one of the clarity things I'm talking about here, in the personality, what happens is we absorb so much of conditioning things as we grow up, as we get used to the culture, not questioning it, because we are kind of absorb them, right? And those cloud your clarity. To come back to the nature, which is crystal clear clarity, to come back that you have to resolve these things. Why did I learn this violent behavior? Why did I learn this cruelty towards people? Why did I learn this absent-mindedness in my life? All those things because we don't have clarity about why we have become like that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So that hypnotherapy also, usually hypnosis don't work on people who are strong-willed, and they don't submit to you. Then that strong-willed means they have this a very strong kind of fixated personality. They don't have an open mind about anything, so they don't want to open up to you. So they won't allow you inside at all. Then the hypnotherapy is very difficult to understand. But if you submit to the hypnotist and then say, okay, I'm here, I'm going to explore with you, just let me know why am I smoking now. So the moment he submits to the hypnotist, then the hypnotist can adjust that energy and bring back the natural state. Then the smoking urge, everything is gone. So this is
I think with the mindfulness part of that I'm learning is, you've described really beautifully there, is we are, we go through a dehypnosis in mindfulness.
Deconditioning, exactly.
Yes, exactly. And then with the hypnosis, then after that point, when we become kind of aware of these other this personality, this total hypnosis that we've kind of given to ourselves, then we can sit with the hypnotist. But I think the big mistake kind of there is that we are thinking that we are being done to by a hypnotherapist. Whereas what's really happening is we get into a receptive state to accept our own.
We are hypnotizing ourselves, and then by really submitting to that, we are kind of dehypnotizing ourselves into whatever that is there, and he is there to help us,
Yes, that's exactly it. So I was so glad to have your company today in my thoughts, and I noticed you as I was entering mindfulness, and then I let you pass, and then I got into this awareness of myself, my innards, my environment, and everything I could notice, everything. And then eventually when that moment, those moments had passed, then Dr. Rao came back to me, and I thanked him in my mind. So thank you.
He said, you know what, more than mindfulness, which is really practiced a lot, it's kind of, you are still some of the mind working. But what I found was, we could use the mind willfully, consciously, but we can go beyond it, where we ourselves dehypnotize ourselves. Without anybody doing that to us, we kind of, actually, we live in a hypnotic state with all the conditioning, everything that's going on. But then the real secret on spirituality for me, Julie, is when you discover that inner joy that is there and that is covered by our ego, personality, and all that, once they are taken off by our own investigation, understanding, then the whole thing opens up, like the sun is taken off from the clouds, so he shines, self-shines completely. And that is so benevolent, so beautiful. It's a sad that most of the people don't realize that. It is there with us, but we have kind of covered it up. This hypnosis is kind of takes that cover away.
It is difficult kind of to explain that to people, because the possibility of that is in every single human.
Exactly. The difficulty is
there's no hierarchy to it.
The difficulty is most of the time we kind of measure it with our limited mind. But that is unmeasurable. That's something you can feel, and you can really be that, not describe about it, but it is there. You can talk about it, around it, but actually you cannot describe that.
I'd agree with that. Anyway, I'm still going to be here. I'm just going to drop down pretty much now. I wanted definitely to say thank you to you, and I regard your friendship highly. You're a lovely, lovely person, and you give so much.
Thank you, Julie. You're always in the present.
Thank you for being with me on my journey.
Sure. I'm always appreciate that you are always in the present. That's a beautiful thing. It just appeals to me because I'm like that too. I'm in the present mostly. So that
it's the only place we can be.
Exactly. Everything else is like
actually exist.
Everything else is like in the mind, but not in life. Only in the present is the life.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. I'll speak to you very, very soon.
Sure, Jenny.
In your audience.
Nice hearing from you. Very nice hearing from you. Okay.
Speak soon.
Okay. Thank you. So that is Julie, my friend. She is also a nature lover. She is always in touch with the present, and that means she dumps all the past and does not go into the future that easily. She hangs on to the present moment. That is what is needed. People have to Be that. You see, that's why meditation is not working in America or Western societies or even the Eastern societies now, is because our attention is taken away by so many things, right? And this is also one of the things. That's the problem. You don't want to do that. You want to be attentive all the time. That means you are stationed in whatever you. This is what you are being in the present, and you are not allowing your mind to go into the memories. Not that you cannot learn from the uh, past lessons, learn them, but don't go and live them. Relive that. And also the future. Why do you want to project them? If you have to do some brainstorming, yeah, but then take each part of that brainstorming, and when you are doing them, don't again focus your goal on the goals, but on the process itself. So that is present moment awareness, present moment living. And actually, my morning work, hour I'm describing these days as an hour of exercise in awareness. So I tell my students, um, be here and now, and pay attention to what is happening with your body and with your breath and everything, and do deep breathing to slow down the thinking, and do both sides of the body equally. Don't be in a hurry. Even 30 minutes, you can make it hurry, hurry because you're thinking so many things. No, get the body and mind and everything aligned, and an awareness. These two words starts with a alignment of your breath, your mind, and your body, and the time in the present, and awareness in all. Awareness of our stretch, awareness of the pain, awareness of our breathing, and awareness of what is coming in my mind. Am I going back and forth? All that. If you can do those two every day in the morning, at least for a few minutes. I kind of do it 1 hour because that's what I can mm, do. And also, I want to help my students to get established in that by themselves, not by me forcing them, but by me doing it. And they are also in there with that kind of attitude. And it's against the rush of hurriedness we have at work. It is against all this fear that we cannot complete things in time, right? So people are really pushed towards being hurry, being not aware in the society, in the world. Do we have to do that? No. But if you develop attentive span better and focus and concentration, you are much better off, right? And so then you will be able to do everything with concentration and focus. Okay. But lately, I'm seeing everybody is doing distracted quite often. And that is why many people don't have the focus that is needed when they need to do. They will do it in fear, secreting a lot of these stress hormones. Okay. On the other hand, if you develop this um, in yoga, there is a saying called Samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam means balanced mind that doesn't flicker when you have challenge or when you have something really, really happy thing. In both states, if you can maintain the equanimity of the mind, where it just doesn't, flicker unusually, and that is the thing that is kind of is being sacrificed. Even with the AI, that's one of the first things we are sacrificing: attention span. Think about that. But if you are not really going after too many things, but you are focusing on one thing at a time, is much healthy and much more easy to do. And also, it's actually really healthy because you don't do the stress hormones, right? So those are all the things. So this personality development is something completely different from spiritual enlightenment. So the person that you develop with the personality can never be free if you just stays in the personality. But you should have a efficacy of yourself, your personhood, before you venture into enlightenment and all those spiritual goals. Okay, so there is no confusion. The thing is, we got to be confident about ourselves, not being arrogant, but then just confident and comfortable and clarity. These are so. I'm going to address how do you develop a body that is healthy, strong, flexible, physical body, free of disease, and full of energy. And how do you really understand the mind and make it quiet, silent, serene, and really help you to um, be aware all the time. That's the second thing. And the other thing is, how do you really reach out to your heart where you are empathetic, you are kind, compassionate, and loving? This is the entire personality, like I described those 5 layers, and that's where they are. If you can do that, then that's a wonderful thing. But if you neglect these aspects which you can control by yourself, then you are looking for instant solutions from any system, right? And and even in modern medicine, we have a great saying: a true surgeon is one who will try to avoid to do the surgery on you. He will try everything to save the limb without the surgery. So that true physician also is the one who wants to give you clues to maintain optimum health in all these spheres by our own awareness, education, and all of that. And then take the agents that need to repair. Okay. Hi, Jacob. How are you?
Bonjour, Dr. Rao. Yeah. I'm very well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm very good, very good. So we had a lot of discussion on this personality development. You have any thoughts or questions, comments?
I got one word: discipline. Yeah. That's it. My friend Philip is talking a lot about self-care and being compassionate to himself.
Yeah.
Because we've all had lived experiences that have shaped us in ways that potentially may not be the most constructive habits that have been formed from it. And yeah, just and as for me, I'm just I'm trying to, but yeah, just I don't know. I'm just trying to improve the quality of performance in my day-to-day engagements, and that's it. And then do some also habit transfer because, as you know, I smoke, and I do want to quit smoking. I haven't got around to doing that, but I did. Like for the past couple of years, I've been focused on career because I did a career change and I was out of work for like 9 months. And that took a toll on my finances, and it was hefty. So recently, I've been earning money that is enabling me to be very happy. So yeah, I just want to make sure to focus day-to-day stuff. I've been trying to exercise a little more, cook a little more, and yeah, slow down and just, I don't know, appreciate even doing chores and stuff like that.
Yeah, very good. You see, if you look at discipline, there is a deeper meaning of discipline, It's not about controlling, it's about putting some punishment and all that, but it's about discipline by itself is meaning learning. Okay, so you kind of probe into any issue, and by learning and understanding and having the clarity, that opens up why you have to do that, and then you will do it automatically. So it's deeper meaning, right? Many of the yoga starts with okay, let's do this posture, for example, and that posture is difficult for you because you are not used to that kind of posture. There's so much stiffness of in your body and all that. So what you do is you first understand, okay, there is stiffness, there is this way I'm sitting all day, that's why my knees are stiff, for example. You don't want to, and discipline means I'm not going to uh, really use it, but then I'm going to force it. Then the injury happens. But if you allow the body to mend slowly, and where your awareness why the stiffness has happened and what consequences and all that, and you're deliberately deconditioning all the stiffness by progressively relaxing into the posture. And even the first time you do it to the next time, few minutes later, if you do it, you will notice there is more improvement of the stiffness and you can bend more. So body and mind are like a big elephants, right? They have learned these habits. They won't go that easily. Discipline is progressively coming back to what we are doing, the behavior change, and then enforcing it by ourselves. Or somebody else will make us do. That is different. But if you do it on your own, and it reinforces in you that you can do it, and then you will do much better. You see, there is a difference in enforcing discipline and bringing discipline into your life by yourself.
I like that.
Yeah. So, for example, in America, if a teacher is harsh or a parent is harsh on the kid, then immediately they will say, okay, you are going to be punished, or police will be called, something like that, right? But in Asian countries, you can see lots of times teachers punish kids, and then in the rules of discipline. But then the kid will be developing fear or developing negative qualities because of that. But ancient people, they talked about this deeper discipline of your thought, deeper discipline of your understanding, the buddhi, that they call intellect. If you can bring light into that awareness, that understanding, that consciousness and all that, then that awareness, that awakened light will work through you, and you don't need this forceful discipline. You need the discipline. For example, when you get up in the morning, the first thing you want to do is make up your bed. That single thing will teach you so much more discipline. That means you have to get up, you have to resolve to do the bed, you have to make energy for that, and you do that. At the end of that, you feel a whole lot better just by that one particular thing. And slowly, in every act, this will count. In the smoking also, if you develop the awareness, it will help you to quit even that particular one at that time. And later on, that becomes stronger and stronger. That has come from within you. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So, but you cannot just say one word discipline and then it will embark on. You have to understand these intricacies and do them as much as you can on a regular basis. That's why every day morning, very easy for me. I get up very early, okay, 3:30 to 5. I'll get up in between. And from then onwards, by the time my students come, nowadays they're coming at 8 o'clock. Between that, my whole day happens. I do so many things. I value that morning hours. I don't even have to label it as discipline, but that has grown into my system. So I don't feel punished or anything. I'm very joyful, get up and be having that clarity in the morning and getting so many things done. And then getting ready for by the time the students come, it's already well into the day for me. So morning routines are very important for the discipline. If you can do one thing every day, that will be very good. I hope you can get rid of that smoking. If you need any help, let me know. I will help you. But then that was one of my prides of my practice when I worked with so many people who are smoking. Either I cut down or they quit. So I was very happy about that. Because these are not tangible things that we can see. We did this much before the meaningful use of EMRs came, and then smoking is inducted as something that you have to do with each patient. But our clinic, because of my interest in that, we did that 20, 30 years before this started here. But even now, if you take it, many people are smoking still. We know the consequences, especially as physicians, we know the consequences. We see them every day anyway, at least one patient, right? So I see all the suffering. From the time a kid picks up the smoking to the middle age and to the old age, we see them at different, age groups and the different stages of the disease. Some may be respiratory failure, some may be developing frequent bronchitis, some may be having just a cough or something, some may be not able to sleep. So many different stages of disease, we see them. But I know the one who is dying even at the end of the day, they feel the bad thing about the smoking and the difficulty about breathing. They suffer till the last moment. So once we solve that, then I'm motivated about getting them, get rid of it as soon as possible. But I don't do it in a forceful way. I do it more like how can we inspire them? How can we make them feel that they can do it by themselves, and then they do it by themselves. There is some guidance, but then basically that is the thrust. How can you get that resolve that each person has, that self-efficacy I talked about earlier? I talked a lot of things today on personality, but this is going to be series. I'm going to do it a few days. So I think, Jacob, you will like it if you go and listen to the whole thing, the replay. Then next talk you come, it makes a lot more sense for you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anybody on the Wisdom app or Austin, anybody wants to come up? Otherwise, I will close the room. We're almost 1 hour now. So I'm going to continue this topic and then bring in more of combination of modern self-efficacy and ancient really understanding the limitations of personality itself and how to go beyond it. First, you need to develop to go through the life, and then you got to really nullify it to really realize who you are. So that's the way I want to present it. That may make a lot more sense to the people who are really starting life or who just want to do it at this level. That's fine too. Okay. So you can, person cannot be free, but we can be free of the person. That's the spiritual quote. But then as long as you have the personhood, personality, you need to understand how optimally you can develop it, and thereby you can reduce the suffering in any form, physical, mental, whatever. That's the goal. That's what I want to do.
All right. Very cool. Dr. Al.
Yeah.
It's great to see you. Great to talk to you again.
Okay. All right. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.